talks will yield results. But if they don't, and conflict is imposed on us, the enemy's losses will undoubtedly be greater than ours. In that case, America will have to leave the region because all its bases are within our reach. We have access to them, and without hesitation, we will target all of them in the host countries.
Tensions between the United States and Iran are escalating again over Tehran's nuclear ambitions. U.S. President Donald Trump said that he is now less confident about striking a nuclear deal with Iran. In a podcast interview, Trump said Iran appears to be using delay tactics and showing less enthusiasm to negotiate. He reportedly said that he once thought a deal was possible, but not anymore. Trump has warned that the U.S. will not allow Iran to develop nuclear weapons, with or without a deal. He said that he'd prefer to avoid war, but also hinted that military action remains an option. Earlier this week, Trump also discussed Iran with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu at the White House. He described negotiations with Tehran as tough and said Iran is becoming more aggressive in the talks. The U.S. and Iran have clashed on the issue of uranium enrichment on Iranian soil. Trump has been seeking a new nuclear deal to place limits on Iran's nuclear activities and has threatened Tehran with bombing if no agreement is reached. Western powers argue that enrichment could be a pathway to nuclear weapons development. However, Tehran insists that it only seeks nuclear power for civilian energy and medical research, not weapons. Iranian Defense Minister Aziz Nasserzadeh has now issued a direct warning ahead of a new round of talks. He said if talks fail and the U.S. imposes conflict, Iran will target American bases across the region.
God willing, it won't come to that, and the talks will yield results. But if they don't, and conflict is imposed on us, the enemy's losses will undoubtedly be greater than ours. In that case, America will have to leave the region because all its bases are within our reach. We have access to them, and without hesitation, we will target all of them in the host countries.
This comes ahead of the next round of U.S.-Iran nuclear talks that is scheduled to take place this week. Iran is expected to hand a counter-proposal to a previous U.S. offer for a nuclear deal it rejected, with Trump saying on Tuesday that Iran was becoming much more aggressive in nuclear talks. Meanwhile, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said a peaceful agreement is still possible if talks are pursued seriously. He posted on X that a deal ensuring the peaceful nature of Iran's nuclear program is within reach. This growing standoff raises fears of a broader regional conflict if diplomacy fails again.
Yeah, please.
We're supposed to get a counter proposal from Iran today. Have you gotten that proposal? And what is the main impediment?
We have a meeting with Iran on Thursday, so we're going to wait till Thursday.
And what's the main impediment to getting a deal?
Well, they're just asking for things that you can't do. They don't want to give up what they have to give up. You know what that is. They seek enrichment. We can't have enrichment. We want just the opposite. And so far, they're not there. I hate to say that because the alternative is a very, very dire one, but they're not there. They have given us their thoughts on the deal, and I said, it's just not acceptable.
So this is the main topic for Prime Minister Netanyahu today when you spoke?
I would say, yeah. I don't know what else. I can talk about the weather.
Well, you can talk about Lebanon.
Pretty much that's the main topic, yeah.
With Prime Minister Netanyahu, you just mentioned Iran. Did you discuss Iran?
Very
Did you
well.
discuss the Gaza war?
Yeah, we discussed a lot of things, and it went very well, very smooth. We'll see what happens. We're trying to do something with a country we just spoke about, Iran. I think you should negotiate this. You might be better. I think I'm going to send you today. What a good idea. This could have been the idea of the day. We'll have Dara get up and negotiate. They are good negotiators, but they're tough. Sometimes they can be too tough. That's the problem. So we're trying to make a deal so that there's no destruction and death. And we've told them that, and I've told them that, and I hope that's the way it works out. But it might not work out that way. We'll soon find out.
The first thing we tell the American side and others regarding nuclear issues is, who are you to decide? Why are you interfering, saying whether Iran should or should not have enrichment? What business is it of yours? The Americans' first statement is that you shouldn't have a nuclear industry at all. Iran should not have a nuclear industry. You should have to rely on us for radiopharmaceuticals. You should have to rely on us for energy. You should have to rely on us for desalination equipment. You should be dependent on us in dozens of other important fields. You should not have a nuclear industry at all. The rude and arrogant leaders of America repeat this demand in various languages. The plan that the Americans propose is 100% against the idea of we can do it. Another principle: even if we have 100 nuclear power plants, but we don't have enrichment, it's useless to us. Because a nuclear power plant needs fuel. If we can't produce this fuel inside the country, we'll have to reach out to America. And they might set dozens of conditions for providing nuclear fuel. Now they have set up a center specifically for food distribution, because food supplies are not entering Gaza. As a food distribution point, people rush there to get food. With a machine gun, they kill 10 times more than what they would with bombs, such as explosives. Right into people's bodies. It used to cost them a lot. Now they've made it cheap. They used to have to use bombs. Now they use bullets. This is astonishing. America's hands are stained with this crime as well. That's why we have said, repeated, and insist that America must leave this region. I want to be clear. I want to tell the government today is not the time for bargaining, hesitation, or neutrality. Today is not the day to remain silent. If any government among the Islamic countries in any way, under any pretext, supports the Zionist regime, whether by normalizing relations, blocking aid to Palestine, or justifying the crimes of the Zionists, They should be certain that eternal disgrace will be marked on their foreheads. They cannot achieve security by relying on the Zionist regime, because the Zionist regime, by God's decisive decree, is collapsing, and God willing, it will not last much longer.